Shout out BigSteve.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Big Brand MMA podcast. I'm your host, like always, Steve, and we've got Subliminal MMA. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be on the first podcast with the new intro. It's looking nice.
That's it. It was nice and loud. Hopefully that wasn't too loud compared to everything else. Don't really know. Yeah, very good, very good. Last week, we'll go straight into it. Had no bets but the line on Oki forced me against Salvador, and yeah, round 1 KO, beautiful. What else could you ask for? I got tempted. I played like $100 on Chandler Cole, even though I was throwing my money in the river. $9. I mean, for his path, you can't fault $100 stab. He went for it, but yeah, I knew as soon as he got taken down once, the fight was over. That guy doesn't have the cardio to get up and get a KO after that. 300 lost on Vogel sub, so we were around break even. I think I was like $60 up after that. Lost almost all my profits from Oki, and then just finished it off with the under 1.5 on the Prats and Ramirez fight. I was surprised that was plus money. It was 220, and then I was like, if the card goes well, I'll play like a quarter unit or a third of a unit on that. And then by the time it came to it, it was only plus. It was barely plus money. Like people were playing it during the card. But yeah, it hit. It would have hit much earlier if Ramirez didn't have an ungodly chin. But yeah, ended up with $500 profit. I was happy with that. It's something. It was a tough card for me. What about you, mate?
Let's just say Salvador, you're dead to me. Belgrui, you're dead to me. But Kawamba, that's my guy. He came through.
Nice. I
was happy. I was happy with that. But yeah, the other one sucked. Don't care. I like Kwamba. Made my night basically. So
nice. Yeah, it was a popular dog. I wish I played him too by decision. It was once Vogel by sub got up there and it was like literally the same. It was just like, do you think this kid will flake or do you think he will win a decision? I just chose the wrong one. It's kind of like the Ike Oban fight. Alrighty, let's get into it. Big Bird wants to jump in. All right, I'll send the link. But in the meantime, mate, why don't you start breaking down this beautiful fight?
Excellent fight, right. Dione Barbosa, she's coming in on short notice. It was meant to be Laframboise, who was a old Canadian woman. Diane Barbosa, she's been training at King's for a while. She's 5'2". She moves pretty well on the feet for a person that has a background in grappling. She's BJJ black belt and a judo black belt, but she's got pretty nice boxing, well-timed flying knees. She's quite athletic. She goes for takedowns, body lock takedowns. She's quite heavy on top, obviously being a BJJ black belt. Looks to take the back. I watched her fight with Bishop, where she dropped Bishop and she hit Bishop with a big flying knee. But she also got dropped herself and just got taken down in rounds 2 and 3. She got a bit tired. It was a high-paced fight, but Bishop just kept going to the grappling and kept getting her down. But Bishop's pretty good. She's in Bellator now. So yeah, she's not a bad loss by any means. Rain Guerrero on the other side. She's also 31. She's training out of the War Training Center. Do you remember that from a couple of weeks ago? Reese was training at the same place. But yeah, she's quite comfortable on the feet as well. But she's definitely not as clean as Barbosa. She pressures forward, got some nice leg kicks, likes to clinch, goes for takedowns. She's quite similar to Barbosa. Fights similar, but it's just not as good at everything, basically. Her wrestling's not great, but she's pretty persistent. And she can be taken down, and she gives up her back, which will be bad against Barbosa. So I understand the juice on Barbosa. I'm not really tempted to play the Guerrero side, even though she's plus 230. Sorry. I haven't really looked at the props. Don't know about you, but yeah, money line's obviously a pass. But I don't know if you've uncovered some nice props or anything.
What do you say, Pierce? You want to cover some props, mate?
Yeah, I actually did play a prop on this fight. I played the Barboza sub. It was like plus 350. I taped it again today because I didn't go in depth on Guerrero as I wanted to, and yeah, I kind of agree with Subliminal. The money line's kind of a pass. Guerrero, I mean, I've only seen her on bottom once, which was the fight she had against this Olivia Bescu, where she got taken down in the first round. The first thing she did was turn her back, and she had her back for the whole first round. And I don't know. I just think minus 300, it's appropriate, but I'm not trying to plant my flag on Barboza. While she does have probably the competition, she's faced better girls, has the grappling upside here. But if she's not getting takedowns, I'd be a little worried for that minus 300. Hence why I'm playing the submission prop at plus 350.
Yeah, I agree. That's the same thing I was looking at, but I just took a little bit of a pause. I would expect a little bit more subs on Barbosa's side, considering she's a black belt. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe she's a brown belt. But yeah, I expect a few more subs. Obviously, she's not going to sub Jenna Bishop or Karine Silva. I mean, it's possible. Moroz subbed her. That was the fight that made me throw money away on Moroz. Surviving Karine's guard and Karine dropping down for heel hooks and stuff. But yeah, I saw that Biscus girl's horrible. She's absolutely horrible. I remember taping it, I think, for the Bishop LFA fight. But yeah, I mean, especially because one of the girls that she dominated, a striker, she couldn't submit her either. And it's like, I expect to see some more submissions, at least against girls that don't have a grappling base. This Guerrero, she's pretty trash, but she is a grappler, and I just kind of get that. I agree with everything you said about the money line. I just get the feeling that because she likes to grapple herself and because she's scrappy, if the sub is not there, the line is definitely going to be wide because there might be some, guards sitting and wrestling from her and reversals. She gets on top, and then it's just a competitive wrestling fight. Against Olivia, she was backpacked in the first. But then she came out strong and just kept pushing the pace and took her down rounds 2 and 3 and 1 UD. But again, yeah, Olivia's crap. So I agree. I mean, I'm not looking to that sub still. It's still something I'm considering. It's or even Bet365 if I can organize another account. Maybe some submission or decision for a little bit less squareness. But yeah, no, nothing at the moment. Let's move on. Gene Silva, Kevin Vallejos. Take it away, Pierce.
Yeah, so I have a bet on this fight also. I got the early number on he was like 3.2. I also did put a flyer on his submission prop as well for Gene Silva. It was like plus 1,100 earlier today. And my thought process on this fight is just that Vallejos, yeah, he's the rightful favorite, but kid's 21 years old. I think he has a lot of upside in the UFC if he were to make it. But like right now at this point, I think he's very hittable. He keeps a high guard. So I think the knees up the middle for Silva will be crucial here. And while I don't think Silva's that talented either, he's kind of just a reckless fighter. I wrote he's kind of like a banshee on the – he's just pure violence where – I don't know. I just think it's a volatile fight. Favorite, but this isn't getting takedowns. Probably the path in my eyes for Vallejos is that maybe he looks for the double leg or wrap around to the back and get top time. But it's a close fight on the feet. It just comes down to whether Gene's going to gas out because I've seen him go a hard 15 before, but Vallejos does push a pace. We saw against his fight in Eduardo Grigori. He was kind of getting pieced up early, but he kind of broke Grigori down the stretch. So maybe Vallejos is a good live bet if you want to play his side. But the lines came down a lot. It's like minus 170 right now for Vallejos, plus 145 on Silva. I think it's a pass at those odds, but I think Silva is the rightful dogger pass in this spot.
Yeah, I agree. I taped it when the line was like that, and I thought, oh wow, why is this guy the dog? He seems like one of those hyped up contender dudes. And then I watched the other guy, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. He's also a kid that's going out there and finishing everyone, and then he's got Garagori on his record from the UFC, who's a horrible fighter. He's not really UFC level. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like a volatile fight. But once I saw the Gene Silva's record, level of competition, it was kind of like, it's just the bottom of the barrel. Brazilian guys, Spartacus MMA is just really, it's like the samurai of Argentina, really. Samurai Fight League. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that he's a savage. You know, he's explosive and he's got KO power, and that guillotine. I don't know how I feel about it. It goes for it a lot. I don't know if it'll work here. You never know. But yeah, I just didn't pull the trigger. The lines come in a bit. Wouldn't say it's a pass per se. If it's a pass, then you think Kevin really should be a minus 200. I don't know. I don't know if he should even be that much of a favorite. I mean, he's got power. He's a little stocky beast. But it's hard to tell, man. He's also gone to decision. He's going for guillotines, getting reversed. Really bad level of competition. I just didn't feel as good as some of the other dogs where they were calling my name on Contender, and some of them are passed on. But this one, yeah. I mean, I'd still agree it's a dog or pass, and there'll be another fight we'll talk about like that. It's just I thought I'd wait, talk to you guys about it, watch the weigh-ins, let it simmer a little bit. I think there's still value. So, yeah. I was even thinking maybe some over-unders or this guy by finish because he's lost every decision, and the guys he's lost decisions to are not the greatest. But 5 years ago, he's 21. Yeah, nothing for me at the moment. What about you, Sub?
Yeah, I kind of agree with the consensus here. I think, as Piers said, Kevin is the rightful favourite, but it's just how much. Like, you don't really want to pay juice on him because although he's a lot more technical, he's got slick boxing, he's good movement on the feet and everything. This Silva guy is just really scrappy. He's not like an amazing striker, but he's extremely violent and scrappy, and that kind of goes hand in hand with Contender Series. And also, Vallejo backs up a lot. He just always goes back to the fence and then circles out and then does it again and again. So if Silva's coming forward, that won't look good on the judges' scorecards. But I think this goes late, to be honest. I know they're kind of mostly both strikers, but I think it gets into the past the 7.5 minute mark. I don't know what the number is on that. Minus 140.
Minus money, yeah. I don't know how I feel about a minus over 1.5 in a swinging war like this.
Yeah, true. But I think they're both pretty tough. I would be surprised by an early knockout, but as you say, they're going to swing, so it might happen. But yeah, I do agree. There's some value on Silva. I wish I got any of those like north of plus 200 numbers, but he's kind of plus 150-ish on average, and it's coming down. So I don't know. We'll see what it's like tomorrow. I'm not going to make any rash bets, but I will say I think Vallejo's by points actually has value. I was just looking at it. It's plus 375 for Vallejo's by points, and I'm surprised they're favoring him to get the KO at such a high clip. Because Silva comes off, he seems pretty durable. I wouldn't say I don't know, seems wide.
Yeah, that's probably the way. But it's just hard to tell. It's hard to tell who's durable, who's not. They're all fighting bums. Guess we'll find out. I thought Dylan Salvador was very durable, and I was like, slim margins for Oki, and he just ran through him. First guy to knock him out. There's not many people in kickboxing knocked him out either. So yeah, volatile, man. Contender's volatile all around, so I don't fault the dog at all on Gene. Alrighty, let's move on. I'll let you take this one away, Piers, because you absolutely froth one of these fighters. So take it away.
Yeah, actually, Steve, this might be bad news for you, but I got out of my position on this fight for the moment. I can maybe cash out and keep my position, but I am on the Vodka side. The line has came in a lot on Hanekom. It actually flipped earlier today. Hanekom's now the favorite. And I don't know. I think Vodka should be a slight favorite just because Hanekom, while he's definitely a lot bigger when you look at the face-offs, Hanekom's got like 4 inches of height on him. And he's probably – Vodka, I think he could maybe make welterweight. But I guess my thought process in this fight is that Hanekom, he could maybe get takedowns. It's just going to come down to really if Vodka's going to settle on the mat because I have seen him get stuck on his ass and he kind of likes to play jiu-jitsu, go for that Kimura sweep and work out. But if Vodka makes Hanekom work, because Hanekom's going to go for the takedowns, and he's pretty relentless. But Vodka, I feel like, has the cardio advantage in this matchup. So maybe look to live bet Vodka. But for if he climbs back to the plus money, maybe like plus 110, plus 115 Budka, I'll probably make another entry on him. But I'm getting cold feet, man. I know Budka's my boy, but seeing the line movement made me want to cash out of my position. But maybe look to live bet Budka. That's probably the safer approach in my opinion. Because Hanekom, we have seen him get tired in his knockout loss. I think it was against the Daniel Pereira dude. He kept getting takedowns, but Pereira kept making him work. And on the feet, Hanekom's all right. He's got a nice leg kick, decent right hand, but Budka's probably going to be the more active fighter on the feet. It's just a matter of whether he can stay off his ass.
Yep. I'll quickly add, and then I'll let you go, Sub. I agree with these guys are very similar. I'm noticing a lot with UFC and Contender. They're pairing like twin fighters, like two physical dudes that just want to grapple. And I would say Budka probably has the finishing, the jiu-jitsu upside, like a lot more submissions. He goes for kimuras and rear naked chokes, whereas Chad is a bit more of a wet blanket. He just keeps going for takedown, and his wrestling's not the best technique wise, but he's just a physical dude that keeps going for it. He's weird in terms of, I've known him well because, I've watched him against Ikram when taping Ikram, Leon Aliu, the dude that was on Contender and that just got wrestle fucked by what's his name, Stewart. Yeah, I thought he was a beast. I was like, man, this guy wrestled the undefeated, Aliu, the guy that was in Contender Series for 3 rounds. And then, we saw that Ali was an absolute bum. But yeah, he showed good cardio there. And Ali was another physical guy. And then obviously in his title fight against Pereira, he got knocked out and he got gassed there. But it's just his style. He just keeps going and he muscles people down and eventually gets them down. I think that's when he rests a bit. But he couldn't rest at all against Pereira. Pereira just kept stuffing everything. And on top of that, he was punching him as well. Pereira's got crazy power. He's not the worst fighter, that guy. But then after that, that was 2019, and one fight in 21, just beats the guy with leg kicks, who's really bad. And then 22, he just wrestles a guy who's 5-4, and then he just gets one of his first knockouts in ages against a guy that's 11-1. But how good is that, 11-1? And Jali, I'm looking at his record now, padded to the moon. But yeah, it's just hard to tell. I don't know if his cardio is bad just because of that Pereira fight, because I've seen him proactively wrestle for 3. Although he did slow down against Ikram. Ikram was I was actually impressed how he was stuffing Ikram's takedowns until late, and he actually took Ikram down as well. But then round 3 is when the easiest takedown came, and he was kind of just on bottom, happy to just sit it out, and lost the split. But yeah, it's just, my boy Piers told me about it when Budka was a bigger favorite, and I was like, no way, man, no way. This is a clear dog or pass. They're just going to kind of meet in the octagon and negate the grappling, because they're both, I've seen a lot of Budka fights, and it's just a lot of back and forth grappling. He can be taken down, he'll get his takedown reversal, and it's kind of volatile. Now that it's come to pick him, I actually feel like playing Budka now, honestly. So I just feel like, if it goes long, we might see Chad slow down again, but it's like, what happens early? Is Budka going to get grinded on? I watched that title fight against Bukayev, impressed me. I rate Bukayev. I know Pierce played him there, and ended up being a good play, split decision. And I just remember thinking, Bukayev's faster. He's more like explosive, better striking, and he ended up taking down Budka like 3-4 times from what I remember, and essentially in the later rounds it came easy. But yeah, Budka kept hurting him. I think he's improving. His striking's improving. He's only 23 years of age. So yeah, I don't know. The size is big, but Budka's smaller than everyone really. I just lean him now. Short notice, he should be ready. It was like 4 days ago that he fought. So surely he's fit. Although how seriously did he take that guy? Like, he really didn't need a camp for that guy. That's the only thing. But yeah, I'll lean Budka now. I'd pick him because I think he could be a slight favorite, but I don't know. I don't want to force it. This is like, I know a lot of people I respect that are on chat as well, but it's just, I don't mind fading him. It's just, I don't know where to go with this fight. This actually feels like Pick'em is accurate. What about you, Sub?
Yeah, I think I kind of see what you're saying with the whole leaning towards Budka now that it's kind of at Pick'em, but I think it is going to be a close fight because they're so similar and they like to do similar things. So I think it could be quite a slow-paced, grindy fight. Neither of them really pushes like a mean pace or anything. It's kind of tentative on the feet. I think Budka's definitely got the better seems to have the better striking, I'd say. He's been incredibly active, Budka. He's had 18 fights in 2.5 years. So he's obviously he could be improving fight to fight. He's only 23. Yeah, I lean the Budka side to win, but I think I would need plus money, maybe plus 110. I don't know if it'll get that far. I reckon it'll stay around evens, to be honest. But yeah, I favour Booker, just even though the short notice is obviously a worry, but he's been so active. He's obviously just training all the time. Yeah, Chad Honeycomb, he just likes to wrestle, doesn't he? He's a weird pick for Dana White's Contender Series because he doesn't really have that kind of style, like the exciting style, really, or neither of them really do. But I favour Budka. So line, as you say, is probably accurate.
Yeah, I think it's South African talent. He's just bringing him in. There's a lot of seasons of Contender, so there's a lot of fighters that are just not, they don't really fit the Contender bill, but he just needs to put on the card. I think that's why Chad is there. He's got a nice record. All right, I'll do the comments quickly. Let's go, Lou Betcha. Doing the God's work. Thank you, mate. UFC betting experience. Bullcraft didn't finish Salvador. That's what I mean. Like, super volatile, man. Mr. X, Hulk versus Superman. Pretty epic matchmaking. Yeah. Earth Human, loving to remind me of the tilt. That LFA under 1.5 was an absurd beat. Yeah, it sure was. Someone has to die in there for that ref to stop it. But I was going to make that a bigger bet. So look at the positives, guys. Didn't lose as much money as I would have. Alrighty. This is a great fight. Siri City versus Ramon Tavares. So I'm going to take this one away. And then I'm going to make a quick coffee as you guys talk because, yeah, I'm dying here. So it was tough to get a read on this one. I didn't really know what this City guy is good at. All I knew after a few fights, I wanted to fade the guy. He's just getting cracked and BFL straight away. I was like, I don't know any of his opponents. I know straight away they're going to be cans before I even check their record. And he's kind of gritting him out. And there's a lot of cage push and there's a lot of a lot of cage push and a lot of 4 round 5 decisions and finishes late. So I'm like, all right, he's a decision machine, in a 3-rounder. So if he's a favorite, he's already getting my fade. And then I taped Ramon Tavares, and I'm like, all right, he's parking all these dudes, but it's bloody combat night pro. That's a red flag in terms of fighters. And I'll agree, his level of competition is so much worse. It's just horrible. Whenever you got Charles Crazy Horse on your record, that doesn't get any worse than that. He added to his 20-fight losing streak. I was like, Jesus. But he seems good, right? So I looked at his amateurs. I wanted to see him go extended. And, he didn't get finished by Steven Kozlov, which is good, 8 years ago. So, he maybe doesn't have the worst jiu-jitsu. And he's mixing in takedowns. Cardio doesn't seem bad. He's essentially a boxer, southpaw boxer, and who occasionally will mix in takedowns. But we don't see it much in his professional debut because he's just running through everyone. And then, Martin Day, his best opponent, hands down, from the UFC, obviously salty record, and he just kind of hurt him with, I think, a body shot and got a guillotine choke. So it showed me another wrinkle to his game. It's another dog or pass. It's exactly like the Gene Silva fight. They're a similar line as well now. But yeah, just Sydney. He's also lost to Ogle. He showed me that he's tough, durable there. He didn't get submitted. He's a gritty guy, and he just comes forward. He takes one to give one, which might not be good against Tavares, and he kind of just breaks people and seems to be good on the ground. I don't know. He's got a triangle choke off his back against the bum, and the rest is just kind of him mixing in takedowns occasionally and cage pushing. But he likes to strike. And he's got a bunch of body shot KOs. So both these guys like to work the body. Lyle Watson is horrible. I remember him from 2010 when I was watching UFC. But yeah, it just feels like City might be the more trustworthy guy because he's more tested with the cardio, the 5-rounders, maybe slightly better level of competition. He's got the grappling to fall back on, and I just hated the low level of competition for Tavares. It made me want to pass. But then I remembered last week, and it was the same as Oki. We were talking about how the whole card was, the dogs the dogs seem like they have potential, but we just don't know because they're fighting nobodies. And we took a shot on Oki, and it paid off. So I just feel like it's another dog or pass. I actually like Tavares more than Silva in terms of dog shots. But yeah, I think he missed weight, but doesn't really mean much for me. He's usually a featherweight. So if anything, I like the size advantage dropping down to bantamweight. You know, he's going to be not going to be as undersized. Might need it here against City. But yeah, dog or pass for me. I haven't taken the shot. I wanted to let it simmer a bit, think about it, talk to you guys. But that's the way that I'm leaning. Maybe you go first, Subliminal, and then Pierce finish it off.
Yeah, I echo your thoughts with the kind of value side. City is obviously a very big bantamweight, he's 5'10", so he's kind of got that Sean O'Malley frame, really good frame for the weight. Rangy on the feet, likes the pressure. As you say, decent kind of takedowns and takedown defense himself. But I think this will mostly be a striking fight. Both are primarily strikers. Tavares with the southpaw boxing, really clean boxing, really nice to watch. He fought a tall guy in Martin Day, who I think is also 5'10", and he did a good distance of closing. A good job of closing the distance and landing body shots and everything, and finished him with a really nice guillotine. So, yeah, I think I agree that I prefer this dog, Tavares, to Silva, but I haven't played either yet. But I'm leaning towards playing Tavares. I do like this City guy. I don't think he's got any like major holes. His striking defense obviously needs work, but it's not awful. But I think the speed of Tavares could catch City early. So yeah, plus 150, I think is pretty good. What about you, Piss?
Yeah, I was just wondering. You think City's gonna go for takedowns here? Because I haven't seen him really do it as much offensively, but I think that's a path for him in this matchup.
He might do. He's not got like amazing takedowns, has he? But he does like to cage push, and he's a bigger man, so I think he might have some success there. But it's just whether he goes to it, I guess.
Yeah, so when I first taped it originally, I was kind of echoing what you guys were saying, how there's value on Tavares. But like the more I've kind of sit here and thought about it and just looked at the face-offs, because City, his metrics for the bantamweight division is pretty insane. He's a 5'11", 73-inch reach for bantamweight. While I couldn't find any metrics on Tavares, I assume it's a massive reach advantage in this matchup. But I guess I wanted to play Tavares really bad, but the more I think about it, I just think City is going to have like more weapons on the feet. Tavares is probably the cleaner boxer when it comes to like the pocket boxing. And if they were to get in close, he's probably got the better combinations. But the thing with City is that I like his kicks, man. He's got good high kicks. I think the high kicks could be a good weapon here. I just think you have to make him the favorite just because he like mixes up the martial arts a lot better than Tavares. While Tavares is probably, I don't know, he comes off as a value loser to me. I think he's a good dog shot, but it's just I have a feeling City's just going to do enough to win a decision because while I haven't seen him, we mentioned the takedowns. I think that could be an option, maybe cage push, look for some trip takedowns. So that maybe that's a path for City. But I will say I do like the overs in this fight. I'm surprised their favor in this fight not to go the distance at minus 250 because City seems like an attritional finisher, and I wouldn't say City's not. He doesn't have bad durability. I think he's really durable. We've seen him go 5 rounds. And I'm seeing a plus 195 GTD and plus 300 City by points. I feel like that's calling my name.
Yeah, I like that go the distance, to be honest. Plus 195, that's pretty good.
I don't mind that either, actually. Because, the only reason I'm scared about the dog is because, City doesn't look like a flake. We saw it with that, bum ring. No offense, Sub, or both of you actually, because you can just tell that he might be a bum. Like fighting nobody, training with his parents. But City might be fighting nobody, but he fought Vogel, and you could tell that he's a gritty dude. There's no quit in him. So it's like, Tavares could push the pace, and City could still grit him out because he's a proper fighter. He could be a value loser, like Pierce says. But that's good for go the distance. I don't know if Tavares finishes him. Maybe Tavares' decision could be sneaky as well, even though he doesn't have many since his amateur days. But yeah, I think we all echoed the same thing. So I don't mind those overs. Is there what's the over? Is it a 1.5?
It's a 2.5 plus 170.
Yeah. That's also not bad, but
yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna fall for another Oki trap. I wanted to play the over 2.5 in the Oki, and I was like, I can't. If I'm on the dog and he has a live round 1 chance, but I don't know. I don't know what the chances of Tavares not getting a knockout are. City's pretty hittable, mate.
You would assume though if City's probably going to look to clinch. So whereas Salvador doesn't really have any of the grappling upside if he were to get hurt. So maybe City grapples if he gets wobbled in an exchange.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is contender series, and he loves to brawl, so we'll see. Alrighty, we can save some time on this one. Yeah, I'll be honest, I just didn't look too much into it. I saw a couple of Lopes, I saw a couple of Ribeiro, mostly just wiki capped Ribeiro. I was like, oh Jesus, this is a great main event. If anything, I'm surprised that Ribeiro actually beat in his last fight. He beat Fagundes. I think that's his best win. Because that guy is on PFL and he's kind of got power. And yeah, he beat him and it looked like he was going to get knocked out with ground and pound from him like straight away into the first round. But yeah, this Lopes guy seems pretty serviceable. I don't know how good he'll be in the UFC. It trains a China team, which is strange. But yeah, I think some unders and KOs. His KO is plus money. Yeah. I'll have a play on this fight. I don't want to say too much, but I've got a deep dive after I come back from training. What about you, Subliminal?
Yeah, I kind of went in hoping that there'd be value on the dog because it's plus 400. Surely he doesn't have to be that good to have value. But
there's no value.
But there's no value. There's no value. I don't think this Ribeiro guy is very good at all. He's really wild. As you said, he almost got finished twice in his last fight. That lasted less than a round. And this Lopes guy is pretty methodical on the feet. Good pressure, unloads with combinations. Pretty good cardio as well, and volume. And he goes for takedowns as well. So he's kind of like just your classic kind of Brazilian, but he doesn't brawl like Ribeiro does. And I think that's probably going to get Ribeiro knocked out. He's been knocked out in his last two losses, so I think it's probably going to happen again. So as you say, yeah, probably look at the unders. What's the 1.5 saying? Because it's going to be at 1.5, isn't it?
Minus 200. It's same as the
minus
Chandler
200.
Cole.
Yeah.
Which could be value. I regret passing on that Chandler Cole one. I mean, I think Chandler overperformed his survivability. Like the fact that he survived till round 2 was could be the same here. I mean, it could be another tilting loss, but I mean, I think there's value there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to favour the guy that's knocked out, like Gregory Rodriguez, and I know he doesn't have a good chin, but still knocked him out when he was 21. So yeah, I think there's no value, but maybe some props, early Bruno or something.
You know what? Before I let you go, Pierce, it could be a cheeky submission because he does like Sub says, he goes for subs. Obviously, KO is going to be the popular one and he's favoured. But he's got a guillotine and he's got 2 arm triangles, one in his LFA fight. And this Ribeiro, like he almost got pounded out by Fagundes on the ground. Like he ends up on the ground a lot. He's like an aggressive jiu-jitsu guy, like that dude that just fought Lidio in LFA. And he's just scrappy and, he doesn't mind being on bottom either. So if he just ends up on bottom, maybe old mate sets him up for a arm triangle instead of ground and pound. That could probably pay a bit more. But he hasn't really been submitted much. Oh, he has. 2 submissions in a row in 16. All right, what do you say, Pierce?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention I do kind of want to poke at this submission line. I don't think it should be that big of a disparity. We've seen Lopes go for arm triangles, and it's not like he's a bad submission artist, but Ribeiro's tape is really bad. I actually laid the chalk on the point spread for Lopes when it was like minus 325. I don't regret that at all. I just think Lopes is going to run through Ribeiro. Maybe he's going to drop him. Ribeiro likes to get caught with that left hook, and Lopes has got a good check left hook. So Lopes can win wherever he wants, but Ribeiro might give him a brawl early. Ribeiro's not afraid to throw in the pocket, but I've seen Lopes. He got dropped by Gregory Rodriguez and was able to find the finish like a minute later. So I don't question his ability to fight through the storm. So it seems pretty straightforward here, minus 600. Might be chalky, but I think he's a proper parlay piece with anything on this card.
Yeah. There's no reason to bang on about it. What was I going to say? I forgot now. Yeah, that's good. That comeback is good. No, the minus 3.5 reminds me of the Max Holloway one against Zombie. That I think I might smash that too. And just hope for the best. I think I'll be a bit more braver than I was with the Max Holloway one. That should have been like I should have maxed that out on Bet Online. Alrighty, well that's it, boys. I think there's no more point chatting it up. Thanks for jumping in. I think that was a good breakdown. No bets for me at the moment, but yeah, I'm considering. There's a chance I might even consider Guerrero, right? Like seeing Barbosa, and her wrestling's not the greatest, and 4 days notice, and this Guerrero is going to keep coming and grapple. I don't know. There's a chance. Silva, Vodka I'm considering now. Might look at some props. Tavares I'm considering, and I'm not considering Ribeiro. So I'll be playing some kind of I'll be playing the -3.5, probably the round one under 1.5. We'll see. Alrighty, thanks for that. I've got this for me and my boy. Where is it? Oh yeah, Pierce. I'll have to add you in if you want to plug yourself, mate. I think people know you. You got more of a following than I do recently.
There ain't nothing to plug, but I will say the more we talked over, prop's going to be the over in the goes the distance and the Tavares fight. The over actually just took some money, so it's +155 now. So I might move on that now.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is the odds moving podcast right here. No, I'm talking shit. Alrighty, well, thanks for that, boys. I'm going to go training. Good luck on your bets, and yeah, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.
Cheers, boys.